What's up, podcast fam? Thanks for tuning into this week's episode. I've got Lily with me. Lily, how's it going? How's it hanging?
What's up?
I'm so
Hey.
I'm so glad you wanted to come on. I really felt really special when you came and you were like, "Hey, I want to come on the podcast."
Well,
So
I'm so happy you felt special. I'm glad to be here.
yeah,
So, thanks for having me.
what was I was honestly so surprised that you wanted to come on. I know we've got a lot of like similarities with what we like social media and we love that
Yeah.
stuff and we'll get to all of that. But what was it that was like, "Hey, I want to come on the podcast," and
Honestly, like I see you post videos and I've always had in the back of my mind like I should try it out, like try something new.
yeah.
I haven't done a lot of like interview talking kind of um experiences in a while and I was like challenge myself a bit and dive into it again. I was like, we're friends.
Yeah.
We're tight, so
Yeah,
no one better to do it with.
that's a good thing. That's a good just attitude in general with life to have is
Yeah.
like, hey, I want to just try these small things here and there,
Yeah.
push the boundaries of my comfort and try to break out of it. I don't know. I think that's awesome. I
Thanks.
strive to do that myself, but I am quite a creature of habit, as we might all be to some extent.
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes I get like stuck in like
I've
little
I've
zones.
fallen into that definitely, and I've noticed it. Like the past like 5 6 months, I've just been in a very like routine, like fight or flight, just do what I got to do to get through.
Hmm.
And I am just like I want to do something for myself, try and challenge myself. And I love to speak. I love talking to people. I haven't done it in this kind of setting in a while. And it's like let's go on Jacob's podcast.
Yeah, let's give it a go.
Yeah.
Yeah, those moments where you're in that lull and you realize it, it's
Yeah.
always like, well, one, it takes, I feel like, forever to realize it, right? So it's
Right.
like some weeks, months, however long goes by, and you're like, then you notice it, and then you're like, fuck, I need to
I
change
need to do
something. I need to
something.
do something. And then sometimes for me, I'm a slow mover, as I like to say, and I recognize something, and then it
Yeah.
still might take me another like 2 3 weeks to be like
To do
nip it.
it.
You know what I mean?
Do
Yeah.
you get like analysis paralysis where it's like you think about it too much that you don't do it, or is it more so you become so busy in things that you just you put it on the back burner of like your priority list?
Oh, that's interesting. I think it depends on what it is. I think a lot of times it's the analysis paralysis where
Yeah,
I am
that's what
overthinking
happens
it
to
too
me.
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say yes, it's usually that, especially with like this or creating content or getting involved with this. It's been very much so like, yeah, just like, what do I need to do?
Yeah.
I need to create these videos. I need to have a studio. I need to have X amount of mics. I need to have guests. I need to have yada yada yada, when instead it's like you just need to do it and then it starts to flow.
Exactly. You get so caught up in like what I need to do and like what are the things I have to do to get it in place, and it's like if you just start with the first
Yeah.
step, then things will start to slowly just follow through.
Yeah, it's definitely it's funny. I talked about this literally in the last episode too, ironically, and I think that's been a theme in my life is just like, yeah, just start doing the things that you
Yeah.
want to do, because otherwise you're gonna be stuck in that analysis paralysis zone, or this like,
Overthinking
yeah,
it.
or just this
Yeah.
this no man's land zone where you're just existing and trying to fit, and it's never gonna be perfect at all. It just never, or never what you think. How about that? That's even
No,
the
it's
better way to
not.
put it. Yeah.
And sometimes that's the best part of it. Like you end up being so pleasantly surprised of how it turned out,
Hmm.
and you're like, "I'm so glad I did that," or it didn't happen how you wanted it
Right.
to, and you're like, "All right, don't need to do that again. I tried it."
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You learn along the way is so vitally important. It's just, I
yeah,
think we all have those. We create like our own expectations for something, and
right. We
it's
set
the
such a high bar for ourselves, and it's like,
yeah.
who are we comparing ourselves to? Like, just do it for
Literally,
yourself.
the other people something, but the expectations are for me what gets in the way. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
I need to have, again, I need to have these certain things ready and in place because I want XYZ result, versus it should
right.
just be like, all right, I want to do this, who cares about the result, let's just do
Just
it for fun.
wing it, fuck
Yeah,
it, go for it.
that's something with content that is like a normal theme among content creators. It's
Yeah,
like when you put a lot of effort into something and you think it's gonna be good, it usually ends up being
ends up
horrible. It
flopping.
never
Yeah.
does good, or it just doesn't do like, it's like I've had videos where I'm like, oh, this TikTok is gonna get like 10 100,000 views. It's
It's
so
gonna go
funny, and then it
crazy.
gets like 1,000. And I'm like, great, great. That was such a good idea. And then you sometimes I've had some where I like, literally just pull out my phone, put the green screen on, do something funny with it, and then it
And
just
blows up.
blows up, and you're
Yeah.
like, okay, that was literally minimal effort. It took me 5 seconds to make.
You never
Something
know.
about that. It's just, yeah.
Never
I
know
don't
with
know what it
social.
is.
ever.
Another reason why to not have that roadblock and just put things out
Just try it.
is to try. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's definitely smart to analyze what you're putting out, if that
Oh,
makes sense.
definitely.
So like you can maybe either repeat or correct what needs to be, or just see a pattern in things.
Yeah.
But yeah, the analyzing it comes after. Put as much out and then analyze after, versus like I do the opposite. I'll analyze beforehand,
Yeah.
not put a lot out, and then not get a lot of data back.
Yeah. I mean, you're kind of testing all of your stuff as you do it. Like, you see what works, you see what doesn't work, what your audience like, and what they just scroll past. And you're like, all right, well, this is what I need to focus on. This is who my audience is. And
Yeah.
you just go from there.
So you work in. We have an interesting, well, connection through social media
We
and
do.
that jobs. I mean, we are obviously friends from outside of that too, but you're one of the few friends I have that also works, or did, or I don't work anymore, I should say. You want to say you didn't work. You still work there.
Yeah, I still work there.
You still work in the social media world, in
Yeah.
the corporate social media world. I no longer do. We used to talk about different things all the time.
All the time.
And it's it's an interesting contrast of corporate social media to, influencer creator social media.
Yeah.
And I always like to give insights to that, because I think a lot of creators don't understand like what brands and corporate does, and a lot of corporate social medias wish they could do with what brands and influencers can do, but they just don't.
Yeah.
And there's so many different like reasons as to why, and we can go into that. But what are some of the big differences that you've noticed between the two?
I think in the area that I'm in, so we do a lot of social creative for sports and sports teams, leagues, entertainment industry, partners, and stuff like that. But the biggest thing, like for me, that I notice is that I do a lot of the creative brain kind of marketing
Hmm.
stuff, and then you have like the very like metrical marketing and like the analytical marketing. And I think that's a big difference of one, which lane you want it to be in, and two, what what you want to get out of it. Like, I know for me, I'm not good at math. And
Yeah.
I know looking at impressions and engagements, like that's not my forte, but it's a big part of marketing. So coming into my career, I was like, I want to focus on like creative and the fun stuff and like the visual aspect of marketing and advertising. And I think with my position as an account manager, I have a really big like say in what we want to see, what our clients want to see, and how we can pitch that to them and make
Hmm.
it, the best creative on social that you'll scroll through. Um, and in like my company, we're a smaller company, so I wouldn't say we're so corporate, like that corporate brain, but we
Right.
definitely have like a standard of excellence that we strive for, that like a big corporate company would, expect of like a company of 500 people, but
Yeah.
we only have like 80 or something.
Do you run into the corporate mindset with clients in a sense? Because, and not to call any out or anything of that sense, but I worked for a big Fortune 500 company, so I've come from that side where
Yeah.
I came from creative and then did that, and that was a big
We
shock.
switched. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, big shock, like big difference of like, okay, what is going on? And yeah, so do you ever, what I guess I'm asking, is there ever that head-to-head conflict where you get hired out, right? You get this certain job, certain gig, and they want specific things. Do they give you leeway? Do they not? Do they trust you guys? How does that dynamic work?
Yeah, it really depends on what kind of service we're providing for them. Like, we do have influencer services, or we have just a regular like content and strategy
Yeah.
service, and that's usually where I focus in on that lane. And a big part of it is trust with your client, and them having trust in us and us trusting them, that like they they want our help, they want our services, and they want us to make them be better.
Hmm.
And I think a big part of my role is building that relationship with the client and keeping them interested and keeping them excited and kind of pushing the boundaries of what their social could look like. And I think that's the really fun part of it. And running into, I work with pretty big name clients in the sports industry. So there are times where it's like, we have to do it, that
Right.
it's not coming from them, it's coming from the higher ups of their company or
Yeah.
something, and
Yeah.
it's like they could be a very corporate company, and it's like, all right, well that trickles down to us. Working for an agency, you're kind of a little branch of an employer for or employee of that company.
Hmm.
You're doing work for
Yeah,
them.
you don't work, you don't get a paycheck from them, but you
No.
kind of do. It's like a nice yin and yang type of thing of like
Yeah.
going back and
It's
forth,
like
right?
that caveat of being like a not a situation, like side quest
Okay,
employee, you
okay,
know?
yeah, yeah,
Like being on so many accounts, like I have to switch my brain of like what I'm focusing on, what branding I have to like toggle into my like day.
Oh, I never thought of that
And
with having multiple. See, that's okay. That's something I've never thought about
yeah.
because right. So I've done myself, which is like podcast, rave content, travel. That's
Hmm.
pretty like me, and I don't have to worry about like switching between like now we're doing baseball bats, like
Yeah.
and then with my last company, I did power tools, and that's it. So it was just like
You focused
make
on power tools.
content for power tools, and
Right.
that's all you're doing,
Right.
which is so boring. But there's only so much you can do. But yeah, I've never had that where you had to like switch and go, okay, so I'm doing XYZ for so client. Let's just take what we do. Let's take raving and shoes for this example
Yeah.
of like, all right, this client is a rave backpack. I need to focus on like writing up a script or picture an idea for their carousel. And then
Yeah.
like the next hour is like focus on the Nike new Hyperdunks, and you're like two you could have completely two
Yeah.
opposites. Now luckily,
That's kind of a day in my life.
now are you lucky enough to where they are somewhat similar? Like they try to group your accounts together or no? Because
Yes,
I know you said
like they'll
sports,
keep.
entertainment, so they try to get like, hey, you're all entertainment.
Yeah.
This team's all sports.
Yeah, it's
Okay, okay.
definitely like split up. So like I'm primarily focused on sports, but I do have some other clients that will reach into the entertainment realm or like media, different media outlet kind of sectors of companies and stuff. But ultimately sports. So that is helpful because one, I love sports. Two, it's just personally for me, I think I'm better at ideating content for sports because entertainment, like I mean, I can binge watch a show, but if you're
Yeah,
gonna ask me to pull up or ideate on a specific scene from this movie for this certain holiday,
yeah, yeah.
respect
You're
to the
working for the
people that
Hallmark
can. I
Channel, and
can't.
it's
I
like,
can't do it. But if you're asking me to pull up like make a stats graphic for an athlete or someone just had a big game and we want to highlight them, yeah, I can hop on that. But there are times where my it's like it's a really busy season. You have to go from client to project, and I'm like, oh, I was just focusing on like a branding with super like moody dark tones to like a client with very vibrant and
yeah,
fun and like
yeah, totally.
elevated like tones, fonts, like brand guides, and it keeps it exciting. I will
Hmm.
say for someone that I mean has ADHD, I love to bounce around. So I feel like the agency life has definitely done me well in that aspect, but it can get hectic. So
Yeah, I that would be my brain would be all over the place.
it is always all over the place. So
And so you're an account manager,
yeah,
and something that I wanted to talk about because we both are account managers in our own sense,
yeah,
and I think we do that at our core, but we have a lot of obviously difference. I'm on more of a sales account manager. You're on, I'm assuming, a creative account manager in a sense.
yeah.
At least that's the way I'm going to word it. I'm probably not correct, but what is your kind of day to day as an account manager for a social media marketing agency?
So I log on, I go through what projects are in progress, what projects are with the client, what projects need to be kicked off. And based on the deadlines, you kind of just make your list of what has to go first and then you just get into it. So,
So I have a question about the pipeline with that, so
yeah,
if you don't mind.
yeah,
So when you have your projects upcoming, your projects that are currently going, and then when you sent the third thing, I apologize,
kicking off.
and you kick off ones. Okay, so you have those three.
Hmm.
How does that channel down? So is it the company reaches out, hey, we've got, whatever, let's say it's a sports team. Hey, we've got 3 games against the Mariners next week. This is that like is it literally like that, or is it like planned months out in advance? How does that
Both.
pipeline kind of go?
Could be
Both.
both.
Okay.
I mean, we could have literally a day to turn something around.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, so
um,
we're kind of pretty similar with that.
yeah,
My
cause
sales could be that day. The guy's like, "Hey, I need all these licenses tonight," and or
right.
sometimes it's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, we're thinking about it," and I have to be like, "Okay, well, let's think about it in another week, and then let's
And you just
Carrie,
you
let's
keep following up,
yes, you
because
keep
it's like
following up and
once they plant the seed, that's like our cue to be like, all right, let's start ideating, let's start collecting like assets of what
hmm
we could potentially use. Let's stay on like the know on stats and kind of just go from there. A lot of the time we'll look ahead of like marquee events that are coming up
hmm
and either build a content calendar or just like make a list of things that are coming up for every month. And then we'll pitch like ideas. We'll just send through a deck
yeah,
of like, hey, here are some concepts for
this
this
upcoming
event
month or event. Yeah,
or for this player that is projected to have a really big game or something. And we'll take it from there. And then from that, the client, they'll go through our concepts, or they'll come up with something that they want us to do, not from the deck or whatever, and we kind of go from there. But it could be months in advance we know we're
yeah.
going to do something. It could be days, it could be hours. So it really
That's kind of
depends.
how it was for us when I was in the corporate. It was try to plan things far out in advance, and then like have a. We almost had we had like a content calendar where it was maybe 3 months, like a quarter in advance,
Yeah.
where we had like a rough idea. I would call it like a skeleton of
Yeah.
of like we might do this here, we might do that here. Hey, Thanksgiving's here. We're gonna try to do Thanksgiving content from this to
Right.
this day, and like we had this rough outline. Then like month to month, it's a little bit more looking like a human.
Yeah.
Maybe it's got the muscles and
You can add
the
in the details
intestines,
to it.
right,
Yeah.
right, and then week 2 weeks out is when it's like that's a person starting to shape for you
It's
know
a
what I mean? Like
person.
I can see
They're
what
going to
this
start
looks like.
running soon, so
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That makes kind of sense to me. That's I guess that's the general flow of things. So when you're working with a sports agency and say you're making like a player card or something that goes on their Instagram. So let's
yeah.
take your Phillies for instance. Them dang Philadelphia
Love the
fans,
Phils.
unbelievable.
Go Phils.
Bryce Harper, let's say there's a big game. Do you guys like make a template with Bryce Harper or something and like send it over and be like, this is if he hits a home run tonight and like hope for the best?
Can
Or they
be.
just or you just give them those maybe at the beginning of the season and they can just reuse and go through them? How exactly is that like? Because I feel like it
Honestly,
is so bang bang with sports that
could be
it's like,
both. It could be both. Like there are times with certain clients we'll build stuff out like kind of like a bare bones like rough V1 and be
mhm,
like, all right, this is kind of what we're thinking, and then they want to greenlight it, we'll continue. If they already have something in the works, then we'll let them continue doing their thing.
yeah.
Um, but ultimately, it just comes down to the client preference and like what they have planned and what we're preparing for.
hmm
Because I mean, it's not like every day we're talking to them like down their neck, like, what do you have planned? It's like, no, when you need us, we're here and we'll
Right.
stay on top of it for the moments where you don't have the capacity to reach out to us or delegate something. Like we're on it already. Um, but even with just clients that aren't like focused on athletes, we do the same thing.
hmm
So if it's like, for example, say it's a podcast client, like they have a podcast. All right, what's going on in your niche that we can start thinking of? What are things that we think you'd be interested in? And then we start that conversation. We go brain to brain
Yeah.
and go from there.
And you're taking their ideas, bringing them to your creative team. Do you
Mm-hmm.
have a team underneath you as an account manager, or are you just handing it? You just have the clients. That's it.
I
And
have
you're just
clients.
you're just talking to the project team.
Yeah,
Is that what the project
yeah.
team does?
So I basically, client wants to kick off something, whether it's from our deck or they came to us with something, and
Yeah.
we're like, all right, cool. So then we'll get with the project manager. We'll get like the timelines of how long it's going to take, who we're going to have on the project, and then from there, I'll build the project, send it to the project manager, who will send it to a designer, and then from there, the designer and I will go back and forth of submission, edits, send it to client, comes back to me with the client edits,
Right.
send it
This is
back to
back
the
to the designer.
designer, and then it's just the cycle of V1s, V2s, V3s, and
Yeah.
hard finals. So
Yeah.
it's more of like an art than a science.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. An art of like managing, you mean, or an art?
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
yeah. 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 Definitely have to be very organized as an account manager. Something I am horrible at. Organization in general, I'm just horrible
yeah.
at. Like it's just my biggest weakness when I get
Some of the
asked to
things you
interviews.
just you stick them in the back of your brain, and then out of nowhere one day you'll be like, oh, I have to add this little
This needs to happen right now.
asset in
Yeah.
yeah, this little asset into the project so it gets in there and it's visibly shown. Or like if we need to specifically call out a certain reason why we designed something this way to make it fit with the story that we're telling through it.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's just like those little notes that, like, I mean, I have a million sticky notes all over my desk because I can't remember everything. I think I can remember a good amount,
Yeah.
but I mean, most of the time I'm slacking myself stuff,
Oh
writing
my
it down
gosh.
on a sticky note, telling somebody about it just so I remember to come back to it, or calendar holds. My Google Calendar is crazy. I'll put holds just to get up and take a lap because
Yeah.
I get so like hermit mode working remote.
Yeah, we'll discuss remote work because that was something that we didn't write down beforehand. That I'm like, we need to talk about that. But the sticky note thing I used to do at my corporate job, and people used to laugh at me because I had thousands of sticky notes, like everywhere,
I
like
put them
in
on the wall.
binders
I
on the
put
wall.
them like literally like on like my chairs, on the refrigerator. I'll put them anywhere
What was
just
it?
so I see it. And honestly, there's if it's stuff in my personal life too, I do the same thing. Like
Oh yeah, yeah,
I'll
yeah,
put a
yeah,
sticky note like don't forget your charger.
yeah.
I forget my charger.
Right, right.
So,
X person in my calendar used to have sticky notes. Test this day, birthday this day, stuff
yeah,
like that. It's like the only way I could keep it
retain
together.
everything.
Otherwise, I'm just an airhead.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I forget what the issue for me is. If I don't make myself be organized, things fall through the cracks. I start forgetting things left and right, and not just like little things. I might forget, like, I'm that big of an airhead. Really, is like I'll just forget like big things. I'll be like,
Oh
oh,
no.
like, oh, I was supposed to go to dinner with my parents tonight. Like it's that bad. Like I'll just like, it just like, escapes my mind. So it's like I have to be organized and disciplined to do it. Otherwise, it's just like things are
It
just
didn't
loose.
happen.
No, no,
It didn't
nothing
happen.
happened. Yeah, I'll be like, what are we doing? They're like, I told you.
Receipts or it didn't happen. Pretty
Mm-hmm.
pretty
Yes. No,
much.
literally. I'm like, it's not in my calendar. And they're like, well, then you forgot, which is also true. They could be like, you forgot to write
You
it
forgot to
down.
put in
And
your
it's like, that's
calendar.
totally true.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I don't do it right then and there, I'd forget. One of the funny things with my last job, they,
What'd you do?
my, what?
What'd you do?
No, no, just a funny story with
Oh.
like sticky notes was I had this computer monitor that they gave me and it like just didn't work. They gave it to me, it
Oh.
didn't work. And I told
Defective
them, tried to
monitor.
get them to get it replaced, but yada yada, they wouldn't do it because it was long story. So I just started using it as a sticky note board. So people would come to my desk and be like, "What's going on with your monitor?" And it would just be full of sticky notes. People, I was
You're
getting
like, I don't
laughed at
need
all the
it.
time.
It's
Yeah,
my agenda.
yeah. It might be why I got let go, but no, I'm not just kidding.
I
They
mean,
were like, they walked by, my boss, the VP walked by, and he was like, "This kid's not even using his computer. Get him out of here."
what are you looking at all day? Your sticky notes?
Yeah, literally.
I mean, yeah, there's actually very important information on
And you
that.
still forgot the projects, Jacob. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I gotta be organized. It's a pain. Something with my new job that is like I at first I like you kind of hear advice and you're like, all right, yeah, and then you start to do it and you're like, oh my god, thank God I'm doing this. It's like we have Salesforce, we have a note section in there, and someone told me like you're gonna want to take notes on your calls and save them because of the vast just the like how big the client list is. You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna forget. And I was like, I don't. Same thing. Like I don't know if I'll forget, even though I know I probably
Yeah.
would. And luckily, I got in the habit of like writing things down per meeting and then immediately put them in the computer because
Mm-hmm.
3 months in, I'm starting to have these like repeat client meetings. And I remember the first time I was sitting there and I'm like, I know the guy, I know the company, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't remember what we talked about 2 months ago. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what they were like. But thank God I like started doing that because I remember being like, oh, I pull them up and I'm like, oh, saved my life. I know
Yeah.
exactly where to leave off. Hey, last time we were talking about this, and it's boom, ready to go.
And that's a big part that builds that trust
Yes.
with you and your client.
Yeah.
Like, because they'll notice that you remembered. It
Yeah.
could be the smallest detail, could be a whole project, but they'll know that you remembered it.
Yeah.
And then you continue that conversation.
And as an account manager, it's like that's where I think we do have the same thing. It's like the relationship building is the most vital part
Yeah.
because if you have the good relationship, for your case, they're going to come back to you guys because, hey, Lily was awesome. She got us our stuff. She remembered what we wanted, delivered it on time or earlier, and it was a success.
Yeah.
And then for me, it's like, all right, he remembered XYZ. He's attentive. He knows what's going on. We need to buy XYZ from him because he's the first person that comes to mind when, hey, we have a good relationship with that guy.
Mm-hmm.
We need this. We need to, boom, go to him. So that's where we intersect to that account management. Different roles, different different industries for sure, but still, it's like the same
You're
at its
managing
core.
a relationship. You're got to be a people person in this role.
Yeah, yeah. I know that's one of the more frustrating things about the sales side of it is like you're trying to build that relationship and like obviously you're like, hey, I want to sell you this
Like I'm
because
trying to
I would
upsell a
like
little bit.
to
Yeah.
make some commission. But at the end of the day, if you can think, and that's what I tell myself every day, it's like if I can think long term about this,
hmm
the better relationship I have with these people, the more they're gonna buy with me in the long run. And it
Exactly.
might take a year, it might take a year and a half for
It's baby
some, but
steps.
it's just like it just builds and builds and builds. But
Definitely.
yeah, it's definitely been a slow start to that new job with sales wise because you're just like, oh,
Sales is a grind.
yeah,
It is a grind
yeah,
because I mean, you have your base, but then with commission, it motivates you to like be the
yes,
best, do the best, and make sure everyone's happy, make sure
yeah,
they're happy, make sure your internal team's happy. And once you reach that level of like, okay, I can finally breathe, it
just gotta do it
yeah, you just
again.
you're just like, all right,
Get ready for the
got to
next
do it
one.
again.
That is
But
one thing about I've had this thought recently of just how jobs seem like a never-ending set of waves on the beach. You get past one wave,
you got
and
another
then
one
the next one's
coming.
coming, and then
I
that,
mean,
and it
hey, there
just
might
it's
be two
never,
overlapping at once, and you're like,
yeah,
oh,
and
I'm drowning.
it's just never ending. I thought about that with content. I thought about that with job, and I'm just like, is there ever
Is there ever an end?
like as
No.
dark as it is, yeah, yeah.
Is
Is there
there?
really ever an end?
I
like, am
mean,
I just
we
on
work
this,
until we retire, basically, and
and then what? Just die?
I
Is
guess
that what this world's
that's
made for?
our
For us to die?
end, I guess. And
Like when do I feel like the waves? I guess I guess the answer to the question myself here. I've been pondering this for weeks now, so now I've just answered it. I think it like comes when you enjoy doing what you're doing because
yeah,
then these waves don't feel like waves.
they don't feel
They
like they're
just feel like
crashing. They're just
yeah,
you're like
you're wading in the
floating. You're
water.
wading in the
Yeah.
water, and you can
Yes.
just relax.
You're in
You're
the
like on a float, and you're just floating
yeah.
rather than like
No
trying to.
rapids. You're in the lazy river.
Yeah, it's a lazy river of
Yeah, it's not the
work.
wave pool. You've been moved.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got out of the wave
you're
pool.
removed from it, and it's much more
So
relaxing.
life is like a wave pool
You just gotta find what you
connected
love.
to a lazy river.
You just gotta
Just gotta
make
figure
it
out
to
how to
the
get out of the
river.
wave pool.
You just
Yeah.
gotta make it to the river.
Do you go left or right or into the waves and eventually get out?
I think I would. Well, usually they say swim sideways when you're stuck in a rip current.
So
So,
if you're not enjoying your job, go different angles. Just do something different.
I mean, yeah, find something else you like to do, whether it's in the company or somewhere else. Because, I mean, ultimately, you want to be doing something you love, right?
Right.
Like, you don't want to go to work and just dread logging on or dread talking to your coworkers or your clients. Like, that sucks.
Gosh, dreading talking to your coworkers sounds like hell.
Sounds like a
I have
nightmare.
not had that yet.
I have
Thank
never
God.
had that. No.
Oh, you
I
go in, you're like, I gotta talk to these losers again.
I was like, oh, I have to meet with this person. Like, I don't want to do that. But I
Yeah.
mean, I've at my current company, I've never had that experience. I love all genuinely, I really do love my team.
Yeah. No,
So
that I will say the coworkers, having great coworkers and loving your team does make any job substantially better,
yeah,
even the shitty ones.
even when you're in the thick
Like
of it,
yeah,
you're working like there was a period I was working till like 2 a.m. for like a few days or 11 a.m. It was like a whole. It was a big busy season, but I was unwell.
yeah,
But I had my coworker in it with me, so it just made it a little better. And we were
right.
able to log on, talk all day, get our stuff done, push things through, and kind of trauma bond.
Yes, yeah, trauma bonding in a sense. I always think the signs of a good company are when you're, or I should say, let me reverse that. The signs of a bad company are when you and your coworkers are only talking about how bad it is. If you're
Yeah.
not if you're talking about other things in life and like enjoying obviously work stuff, but not to like the degree of like this happened and this happened and this
Yeah.
sucked.
It just
Like
like the negativity
it
spreads.
spreads and feeds and it creates a horrible work environment. I remember in
Mhm.
my previous job that was something I noticed like 5 months in. I'm like sitting at like I was sitting at like a dinner with some coworkers
Yeah.
and like at first we're all talking normal and then like appetizers are done, you're on your second drink, and everyone all of a sudden
And
you
then
hear
the
one
tea
person
starts to
down there,
spill.
oh this I can't believe they made us do X, Y, Z, and then it feeds over here, and then next thing you know, the eight of us are all talking about how much we hate work. And it was like I remember just coming back and being like, damn, this that's when I was like, this
This is
job
my
must
job?
suck. Like I
Like
must yeah, yeah. That's when I start reevaluating and but it
Make a
all
move.
works out. I mean, you gotta
You gotta do what you gotta do. Even if like the pay is great, you have a good
yeah.
title and stuff, if it's not worth like the energy you're putting in and you're just logging off drained and can't focus on your personal life at that point, time to move.
Yeah, I think the important thing is once you recognize, same thing, full circle moment here. Once you recognize that it's bad and you're not enjoying it,
Yeah.
then it's like, what can I do to get out, or what can I do to improve this situation?
Yeah,
And then it's putting those steps into play and
exactly.
starting doing it again. Same type of deal. Because like I remember going through that with that job and being that first year, like, dang, this is not what I thought this career was going to be,
And that's
and
okay.
that's perfectly okay.
Yeah.
But at that first realization where you've had that in your head of like, all right, I'm in these few, I'm in college, I'm in these few first starting roles to get to this goal because that's what I want to do. Then you have that realization at that you've reached it, and then you're like,
Yeah.
oh,
This
this is
isn't what I
not
want to.
what I
Yeah.
thought. I'm not a fan of this view of the mountain. I'm going back down,
Exactly.
starting over. It is very scary to do that. A lot of people don't want to, but
I have mad respect for people that do it. I mean, Thomas, he's going back to school for a completely new degree. He's going back for environmental engineering or environmental geology.
I didn't know that, Mr.
Yeah.
Smarty Pants.
Yeah.
I didn't know
So,
that.
I mean, after like cancer and everything, he's like,
That
I,
man,
I don't want to work in the health field.
that man likes rocks.
He does like
Big
rocks.
rock guy.
He does like rocks. He climbs them too. Um, so yeah, he wants to go back to school, and I'm like, I'm so proud of you for like making that call and starting over and doing it because 10 years from now, if you're like in the health field still, you hate it, like
Yeah.
it's just gonna make both of us miserable. So we're still young. Like go back, do it now, and then we'll be happy later.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And it is so important too when you like, same. It's just very important to realize that and then have those plans in place. 'Cause it's one thing to be like, I'm
mhm.
not happy, and then just wing it. I mean, I guess you can do that. No knocking it. Well, I am knocking it. I can't do
I
that, and
can't
I
do
will never
that.
be able to do that.
I can't do
Yeah.
that. I
No.
don't have the balls to do that. I have mad
Yeah.
respect for the people that can because I like to have plans. I like to know what's happening. I want to know what's
Yeah.
happening next.
I will say, it was so obviously when I wanted to quit my job, it
Yeah.
was like I want to have this, and I had a plan. The plan was, let's get a new job,
Let's get a new job.
and then we'll quit. You know what I mean? Like have something lined up.
Oh, definitely.
But then when they
Definitely.
let me go, it was quite freeing.
Yeah. You're like, this is kind of what I wanted to happen anyway.
Yeah, it was very nice. It was very exciting, and for 4 months, I just like existed. Like I just had nothing to do. I could just float around, have fun.
Take your
It was
time.
honestly maybe the best 4 months of my life up to this point.
Yeah. I remember when I was
Besides like college stuff, but yeah,
college was always a great time. But no, I remember when I was laid off from my first job. I'm like fresh out of college, starting to work at this ad agency in Winter Park, and I'm so excited.
oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh. That was a
totally
time.
forgot about that.
But yeah, like 3 months into the job, I hear him getting laid off, and I'm like, I didn't even know there was a pitch going on. Like, what are you
Yeah.
talking about? We lost.
Oh my god.
What? Like I thought the company call was to say that like we won the pitch because I asked them, I was like, oh, what is this about? They're like, oh, maybe we won the pitch. I was like, what pitch? And I was like, oh, we didn't win the pitch. I was like, yeah, so we have to lay off people. I was the first one to get called,
Oh no.
and I'm like, the CEO told me, and I was like, all right, are you okay? Because I'm like, he's the first one to call me, and I like don't know how to respond. I don't want to.
You're like, how are
I'm
you
like, let me
doing?
just deflect. I want to deflect how I feel right now, and then whatever. We hang up the call. I just start hysterically crying because I'm like, I'm 3 months into a job, out of
Yeah.
college. Like, what am I gonna do? So yeah, I was laid off. I was unemployed for like 3.5, 4 months, or no, yeah, 3.5, 4 months, and then started at my current job
I feel like you didn't
two
feel
years
how
ago.
I felt from what you just said. Did you feel
No,
like what I felt at all?
we were both laid off, but you were happy. I was like, what is
Okay.
gonna happen to my life? But I mean, it ended up working out so well because I love where I'm at now.
Yeah.
I'm making more and it's remote. My
Yeah.
coworkers are amazing and it's just a really good culture and I like the work that I'm doing. Like it's fun, it's
It
cool. So
does all work out.
I was never that big of a believer in like things happen for a reason. And you know, things happen because you want them to happen. You kind of plant seeds for things to happen in your life. But I mean, there really are some things that you just don't control
Yeah.
and it happens and things turn out for the better. So
I definitely think that I feel like you really can't control anything. I'm trying to be more or less like that because I
yeah.
think I like you have the idea you can control a lot of things and you've got plans and you've got like I want to do this, I want to do that, and but like at the end of the day, they could just
I mean, something could derail your whole plan.
literally in the
Yeah,
blink of an eye, and then that's where like you need the less the expectations of that
exactly.
plan. I mean, like yeah, I don't want to say like you shouldn't be like you get a job interview, you shouldn't be excited about like yeah, I might get this job. No, you should be, but at the same time, it's like you don't want to be like so excited that when you get the bad news, you're devastated and it knocks you back from applying to other jobs. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like a good
You have to keep
you
going.
have to have a good balance as you need with
I love a good
all
balance.
things in life, I guess. Yeah.
Libra talking over here, but yeah.
What?
So I'm a Libra. My
Oh,
my
Libra. I was
sign.
like, I heard lemur, and I was like, huh? What is that a?
A lemur. Those are cute
So
animals.
they are, but it was like a. I didn't think
Out
they
of
talked
context.
like that. So, what is the Libra balance?
I mean, it's just part of like the character of a Libra
Pull up Libra.
from what I read.
Pull it up there, back there, Nando. Say hello for the guests.
Hey, everyone.
Turn your mic on. Oh yeah, it's on. It's on.
It's
It's
on.
on.
What
It's
does
on.
it say a Libra is? It definitely said the sign are scales, so that puts it into any perspective. But
Are you like really into
love a good
the
balance.
horoscope stuff?
No,
No.
I
Oh,
know
okay.
I know
Okay.
mine.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it.
I know mine too.
um, but yeah, love a good balance. Love harmony. I don't like conflict. I just like when
Ooh,
things are
that's
peaceful
interesting. Extroverted, cozy,
and
and friendly
friendly
people.
people.
The two in my head are exact opposites. Extroverted and cozy.
I feel like cozy more is
It's like a warm person,
yeah, like
a warm
charismatic,
energy.
attaining balance, harmony, peace, and justice in the world
Mm,
with their vast stores of charm, intelligence, and
frankness.
frankness.
Are you very honest?
I'm blunt. I'm very blunt.
That's frank.
Yeah. I don't like to sugarcoat things, but it's weird because like I'll try to people please the whole world, but I don't know, when it comes down
And
to
then
it,
you're like, get your shit
I'm gonna
together.
tell you how I feel. Yeah.
You're like, listen, I want you to be happy, but get it together.
Like I really am rooting for you and I want the best for you, but what you're doing is not setting you up for that.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And it's like I like when I give advice to like my sister or something, she'd always tell me like, why are you being so mean? I'm like, I'm not being mean. I'm saying this because I care about you and I'm being
Yeah.
real. Like I don't want you I don't want to just have this persona of like, oh, it's all gonna be okay when you're doing things that isn't gonna be okay in the end. So it's all out of love.
Yeah. I'm with. Uh look up Sagittarius too, just so we can see if I have similar.
Starseed.
I'm the same with that sense. It's like I also wouldn't want anyone to sugarcoat things or like give this like la perspective of like you can do anything. Outspoken. That would be
Optimistic
accurate.
extroverts who elicit respect and affection from everyone they come into contact with.
Mm.
I mean, when I first met you, I was like, I respect him. Like you brought like I've never been to a festival. I met you at EDC for the first year and I was like, I trust you. You're really tall
Just
and you
there.
seem responsible.
Oh, because
So
I'm tall. We tell him we trust tall people. No, that's funny. EDC was our first festival. I
EDC
think it was Forbidden Kingdom.
EDC 2018.
Yeah, no, that
Yeah.
checks out. 2018. Oh yeah, because our first.
Yeah, it was 2018.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to remember that.
I went with my roommates and then I met up with Sam. That's where I met Emma for the first time too, and like everyone else from like the group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was going into it very blind. Sam was like, "You just gotta come," and then my roommates they were going. I was like, "All right, we'll do one day. We'll go one day,"
Mm-hmm.
and then Sam she was already in it, and that's where she had like introduced me to Emma and you and everyone else, and now we're like one big happy family.
Yeah, yeah. No, that is. It's interesting how the uh, rave and EDM scene has brought everyone together in that sense.
Yeah,
It's it's also just a small community in general.
Yeah.
And like you start to meet people at certain events and you run into them, you get their snap and you find out they're like you're going to another event with them. It's very
Hmm.
still very small in that sense. I think it's getting bigger and bigger. We'll see where it goes, but
I mean,
it's
there's
small.
definitely been so many more people I've met through festivals and just you knowing people, Emma knowing people, Sam knowing people, me bringing people in. It's like
Yeah.
we all have ties to like, people in our lives, and then once you hook them into the scene, they're in. So
Yeah. Yeah, literally that is true. A lot of I haven't had one friend that I've personally brought that wasn't like I'm one and done. Like everyone I've brought has been like, "Oh, I'm going to go again."
yeah, oh, I'll go to that
Yeah.
one. You want
Yeah.
to send Lawson's? Yeah, let's go to Ohio.
Yeah, let's
Like
go to the oh, wait, did we meet at Lost Lands first?
no, we
No.
met. No, it was
You went the
80s.
year after.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we
Oh,
did
that's right. The first year I
2019.
was me. Yeah, okay. You're right. You're
Yeah.
right. I was mistaken.
You guys went, yeah, because you guys went that to
September.
the first
before
year they did
November.
Lost Lands in 2018.
We went the second year.
I thought you were there the first.
I know.
I've had this whole
I'm just as sad about it.
This
I didn't
whole
even know it
time.
existed in 2017, so that's part of it.
Well, it got big.
They had the pull up the I think it's Lost Lands Cavern of Souls. They had a stage the first year that I wish they still did. They made a cave and had a
Made a cave.
stage in this cave. Um,
Oh, was that it?
yeah, click that one. I guess not. I mean, they called it the Cavern of Souls, but not really the Cavern of Souls. And it
Looks
was
cool, though.
this like pterodactyl in a cave.
Oh, that's what the light is. That's very cool.
Yeah, I wish they had that, but that looks so sick.
Remember my phone got stolen?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I do remember that. That was
Last day, right before Excision back-to-back Millennium, the reason why I went, aside from you guys, but
right. Understandable.
that was pain. And then the drive back to Florida from Ohio
With nothing.
with nothing. And my
Nothing.
21st birthday, 2 days after, I was down.
Down bad. Yeah, I remember you were headbanging, and it like dropped, and you
I
described
had it in my waistband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Oh, I'll get it a second this song ends," and like it was gone.
It was gone.
It is so nuts how quickly these people wait around for it. If they're, I mean, I assume they're waiting around. I guess someone could have just been by, saw it happen, picked it up. But like a lot of times they like see someone and they
They'll
kind of
scope them out for a
them out
while.
yeah, and then
like
they
follow
move
them
in.
around through the crowd.
Yeah, they're like on the hunt. They're like
Yeah.
lions or a pack of cheetahs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where their phones are their prey, and it's like, all right, you're gonna
Yeah.
go sell it for parts. Like, I mean, we went to Lost and Found, we tracked it, right, and it was off already.
Oh yeah, they move quick with
They
that.
move so
It's like
quick.
it's like gone.
It's like, how do you even get in to do
vanished out
that?
of thin air.
I had a passcode. Like,
I think they just turn them off for as long as possible until they can pop, and they just randomly like I've had people say they like it. Right, it's off, right, and they go say, "Hey, we've got a phone we can sell for parts." I'm assuming I don't know where they sell it, but normally it ends up like back in China, and I've had people I've seen and I've seen
Never
people
known this.
where their phone, so they go through all the procedures of getting a new one, getting all their stuff on there from an iCloud backup, right, and they've got a whole new phone, and they check like Find My, and the new Find My has like your devices, and like it'll pop up like in Hong Kong or something.
and you're like, that's where. It
Yeah,
ended
and
up?
that's where it went. And sometimes they've had people where they reach back out, and because it's over in China now,
Yeah.
and whether that person stole it or not, probably not. Probably
Doubt
bought
it,
it for
yeah.
parts, or bought it to like resell it. And they try to unlock it, and they'll like send a message through iMessage, being like, "Hey, can you unlock this phone that we have?"
You can't get it at this
Yeah,
point,
yeah.
so might as well
And-
give it to me.
Yeah, I know tons of people that are like, "No, I'm not."
Yeah.
Yeah, you bought a locked phone. Good job.
That's on you. Don't be dumb.
Yeah, I don't blame them. I'd be pissed too. I'd be like, "Sorry, no,
Yeah.
no, I'm not."
Like, I
feeding
lost
into
my.
this."
We're both gonna suffer. But yeah, ever since then,
My-
I keep it in my hand or in my bag.
You haven't bought like a fanny pack or anything of that nature yet?
I mean, I have my hydro pack.
Hydro pack.
Yeah,
The fanny pack is the way to go.
it is. I've actually started to bring the fanny pack more because I'll just buy water bottles.
Yes.
Because
Oh my god, I love that.
the
It's been my
the
favorite
water
thing.
stations are so annoying. You're spilling it everywhere. People are like up your ass trying to get to the water, and I'm just like, I don't, this is such a struggle. I will pay $5 for the large water and carry it with me and then fill the bottle.
Yeah. Yeah,
So much easier.
it's been a fun thing to do the last year where I like just don't care. I bring a backpack, but I just don't carry a water pouch. And I always like I've just come to the
Yeah.
conclusion that someone in my group is gonna have water.
Someone will have water.
I don't need to have water anymore. So I just
Yeah.
don't. And for the longest time, for like for like 8 months, I think it was like 4 or 5 festivals. Emma was always bringing her bag in, and I would just be like, "Yeah, bring your water pouch," and she always had water. And then like the fifth one time we were packing up, and she was like, "Are you not bringing a water pouch?" And I'm like, "No, I never do." And she's like, "What?" I was like, "I haven't for 5 festivals." And she was like, "You're telling me I'm carrying our water this whole time?" I was like, "Yeah, you." And she goes, "You're carrying my bag tonight," and she made me carry it. But it was so funny where she was
That's
just like,
so funny.
she like finally caught on that I was
You
just
took
like
that
letting
for
her.
5 months.
Yeah, I was just letting her bring it all the time. And she's like, "This is why you're. Oh, I thought you were just out." I was like, "No, I just never have brought water. Never."
That's so funny. I mean, I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
People are 'cause
Secrets out, team.
to the Ray fam. He does
Now
not
you
bring
know
water.
too. Did you know that? No, you didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that, but usually I'm the one that always has water, and then it's
Yeah.
like everybody in the group is just like, "Can I have some water?"
Or
And at the point where,
gum.
like I want to drink the water. I have none left because everybody else drinks it, but I don't mind being like the dad of the group when it comes
Yeah.
to
Aw.
that.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Gum too. That's a big one. You got gum? No.
Oh my God.
I'm the person that's asking for it usually. but-
Usually I'm asking because
Yeah.
normally I used to buy all that and then it was like you buy it like a ton and it just either gets like destroyed because like you forget it's in the bag.
It's like at the
It-
bottom of the bag.
yeah.
You have stuff in
Yeah.
there. It's getting wet.
gets
like,
wet, right? I just stopped doing it, but
Yeah.
I remember Hector one time like at one of the festivals. I was like, Hector was like, "Do you want gum?" And I remember being like, "What flavor?" Because I just don't like flavored gum. I just like
Yeah,
mint,
just
plain
mint.
old mint gum. And I was like, "What flavor?" And he's like, "Watermelon." I'm like, "Nah, I'm good, thank you though." And then like he must have like forgot. Like 5 minutes later, "Do you want gum?" And I was like, and Vanessa was watching it all, and I was like, "No." I was like, again, same thing. What flavor? Watermelon. I'm like, "Oh no, I only like peppermint. It's good."
Yeah.
And then like another 5 minutes later,
want gum?
he's like, "Do you want gum again?" And now every time he asks me gum, it just like makes me die laughing because I think about
It's
it.
the
It's just
inside
the
joke.
funny things.
Love
It's
those
just
little
some funny things.
moments.
You took like a long hiatus from fests.
I did. The last one I was at was Forbidden Kingdom in May. June? It was in
Wow.
June.
So that's 6 months,
June,
about because
July,
your new one,
September,
your
October,
next
November.
one,
6 months, yeah.
your next one's gonna be hijinks, I think, right?
Yeah.
Are you excited about
Very
that?
excited for that. I've been
Pull up
wanting to go to
hijinks.
hijinks since it started 5 years ago. Like being from Philly, having a festival in Philly, I was like, I gotta
Yeah.
go to this. So yeah, this year I'm sending it. Thomas and I are going. Super excited. That lineup. It's so
It's pretty good.
interesting.
It's a little, yeah.
It's very interesting, but I'm excited. I've never seen Skrillex.
Ooh, can you go down in that video there, and let's put her on mute, but let's watch this video. We can only do
So
like
it's
20.
inside the convention center, and they have a bunch of blow up stuff. Um, Angela, she went 2 years ago.
Yeah.
She said it was really good, so I'm excited for it.
Oh yeah. I love that it's inside. I mean, obviously they have to because of like
You're
it's in Philadelphia
Philly in the
in
winter.
January. Yeah, or January 1st, end of December. But it is. I like that. I'm excited to see how that's gonna go with Decadence because they do it like I think they run them out like the whole convention center and go with it that way.
Yeah, so
Hold on, leave that
Decadence
line
is
up because I'm gonna read it real quick. Keep going. Sorry.
Decadence is on New Year's Eve, so that's like Saturday, Sunday. Hijinks is Friday, Saturday.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people on the hijinks lineup going to Decadence. So the day by days aren't out yet, but I'm sure it's gonna be. You finish in Philly, you're hopping on a plane to Colorado.
It's Murph will be sick. He's been listening to some of his house stuff.
I've been getting into
Recently.
house.
Yeah, I'm been very much getting into
It's
house
happening.
recently.
I'm
Yeah.
finally hopping on. Everyone says like once you listen to bass for too long, you're gonna start making the
Yeah,
the
move
switch.
to house, or I've heard that you go the opposite and you go like to that experimental like stuff, which I mean I like that stuff too. Don't get me wrong, like I like a good liquid song or tape beat and stuff of that nature, but
Yeah,
doesn't hasn't been hitting the way house has been hitting lately.
I know. I've been listening to Disco Lines
Oh my
Columbia.
God, such a good set at
Did you?
EDC.
Yeah, yeah.
So good. Yes, I was excited for it, and I was like, I'm going. He threw down. He
I heard
actually
he was
threw some
good.
wubby shit in
Yeah.
there, which was surprisingly surprised I wasn't ready for it.
Cole has been doing really well for himself lately.
Yeah, he's definitely rised up in the rhythm world.
Who would you say is your favorite EDM artist now? Is it still?
It's still Seven Lions
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, I like the, but I think there's some house artists I would throw in there, maybe like on the top. Well, with my Spotify Wrapped, I was surprised that Odessa was my number one. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, that wasn't in. It was very interesting. I mean, I was thinking about it, and I
Did
was
you go to
like,
Odessa when you were in
no,
Tampa?
no, I would have if I was in town. I was in
Oh,
Montana then, doing
gotcha.
doing the hikes. But yeah, pull up Glacier National Park. Not to toot my own horn while we're on this subject.
Oh,
Now
I
that Lily
have
brought it up,
a goal to go to like all the national parks.
oh, I think whoever doesn't have that goal,
Make it one.
die.
You
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
make it one.
yeah, yeah.
So
Ooh, what is
gorgeous.
that? I was not seeing that view, but that looks insane. We're pulling it up right
So
now.
pretty.
Okay, okay. Can you type in Grineal Glacier National Park? No, no, leave that there. It's gonna help you. Then Grineal, GR Grineal Glacier. Yes.
You hiked that?
So we hiked up to this. That is the hike up.
Yeah.
Um, Nando, go back and let me show you this one picture.
It's so pretty.
Oh, just
Was it cold?
so cold. So oh, we went in. When was that? That
In like
is your right.
June,
To your right.
July.
Yeah, hit that one.
No, I'm tripping. It was in like September or something.
Yes, September.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm
I
like
was trying to
June.
think too. I was
No.
like, when was it? Yeah, it was in September, which is, I mean, well, we're used to here where it's like still warm and 80.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, September we're there. It was every morning. We actually caught it on a really good week, luckily, and it was 40s, low 40s in the morning. So we started hiking low 40s, but then throughout the day, it went up to like 50s, but
With the sun
60s,
out
and
and
the
stuff.
sun out, and yeah, and then of course out there it's like a completely different cold. It's more dry. It's not really windy, so it was like you're starting, of course, as usual, in like layers. Wait, no, show that picture. I'm sorry, I wanted to talk about it. I'm so sorry, but uh, or actually do the one right to the left of it. Yeah, I don't know. They all look good. What am I doing? I'm gonna pick 1,000 different pictures. Oh, I'm dumb. Go to my Instagram. Type in the Bab's Life.
Bab's life.
But anyways, yeah, the weather was. I'm like, we're just staring at the screen watching. Great content. So it was really good weather, but like you're hiking, and I was worried about that, or my parents were like, you gotta bring more layers and blah blah blah. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. The second you start hiking, you're like,
You're starting to sweat.
yeah, you're like, get this shit off me. Like,
Yeah.
if anything, I need to bring a bigger hiking backpack because I didn't have enough
To keep the
like
stuff,
just keep
to
the
keep the
stuff
layers
in.
in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it was like, all right, there it is. So this is, yeah, that's fine. Leave down. That is Avalanche Lake. It didn't like you doing that. That's interesting. You zoom out, the picture was bigger. Do you see the little side arrow? Yeah. So this is Avalanche Lake. This is like the easiest hike of the whole park. It's not. I would say it's like a trot in the woods more than
Yeah.
a hike. But
It's
it gets to
really
this
pretty.
nice lake, and then you can walk around the whole lake. What else is on this one?
It kind of looks like the wintry version of Lake Crescent in Washington.
Ooh, and another tab. Look up Lake Crescent. I don't know what that looks like. Yeah, it was. It's weird because like I mean, it's called Glacier National Park because there's glaciers in it and the mountains, yada yada. But like millions of years ago, the glaciers are what like paved these canyons and these sharp rock edges, and
Yeah.
it's very interesting because it reminded me a lot of, oh, okay, Oh,
Yeah,
that
so the
does
lake,
look
it's like in the shape of a crescent.
oh my gosh, I don't know if I have pictures of the other lake, but the main lake in Glacier National Park looks exactly like that with the mountains in the background.
Yeah.
There's something about a good old alpine lake that just is
It's just it hits.
it
It's
just
good for the
hits.
soul.
Yeah.
It refuels your energy of like being one with nature and the universe,
Because
and
it's two things. There's
it's so
water and
nice.
then mountains that are like so it's water that you just need to like exist without
Yeah.
life. You can't
Yeah.
water without life. And then two, it's just these mountains that are ginormous and you just are like, "Oh, I'm tiny."
I'm in it. Like
Yeah.
I'm in this
Yeah,
world.
I'm in nature and I'm not as big and important as I think.
And it makes you put into perspective like things aren't that serious. Like
Nando, they cannot see us. They cannot see what we're looking at. Yeah.
no,
Show the crescent like one more
I
time.
really want to go to more parks.
There it is, people.
Next, I'm gonna hit
Where have you
Yosemite.
been?
Not
Sorry.
many places, honestly. I went, yeah, so I went to Seattle, or Washington, was in Seattle Olympic National Park. Um, I think that's like it, to be honest, and it's really sad because there are so many places I want to go, like Grand Teton, I want to go to. It's
I've heard
looks
that's
so
one of the
gorgeous.
I've heard that's one of the prettiest like in person.
Yeah,
So what I was told was Great Glacier and Grand Tetons are the most like wildish ones, and that
yeah,
like where you see or and Yellowstone where you see the most like nature,
yeah, like flowers, and
and
there's some
just animals
animals,
and yeah,
right?
and then Tetons and Glacier are the two best like picturesque ones. Look up Grand Tetons National Park. It doesn't look it from the pictures, if I'm honest, but
Like, come
look at
on,
that.
that's my house. That's my future house.
You think you really live out there?
No,
Yeah, yeah. I think that's something we all have in us. Where we're like, I could do that, and then I think you like go out there for like a week and a half, and you're like, well,
I miss
this was a
Wi-Fi.
good
I
time.
miss, I miss living near a Publix.
Yeah, literally.
No, but that's so
God,
pretty.
okay, yeah, that's insane.
Do you
The way
ever
that
see those
towers
videos
above.
on like Reels or TikToks of like people that live in these environments and how they cook?
No, I know they cook
Oh my God, they'll like just cook from the earth and like do their own fire. They'll be
from the earth.
slicing stuff with
Oh my
like
God, that's insane.
really sharp knife on like a log, or they'll use like tree bark as their cutting board,
Yeah.
and they'll use like baskets as like pots of like from things that they sourced out in nature. I don't know.
Uh,
It blows my
no,
mind.
it does.
Um,
I've gotten some of those videos of the people that like make huts and stuff. Have you ever seen these?
make
That they
cuts.
speed them up. There's people on YouTube that do it, but it's like a 30-40 minute YouTube, and it's like I built my log cabin in the middle of the woods.
Yeah,
And then I've seen like the sped up version where someone's like, I'm building a hut in the woods,
mm-hmm.
and
I've seen like one or two.
Nando, if you can, put a picture up of Grand Tetons, the best one you think. Pick the best one that you like. Okay,
Gorge.
that one. That one right there? Okay. And then do Glacier National Park. I just want to compare the two. Yeah. My Instagram won't do us justice for this. We need like a solid, similar image. Oh, Billy Goat.
Go.
Wonder what that view is. I didn't see that view.
Like it looks like heaven.
Yeah. Except right now it's probably like 20 inches of snow and
Can't
negative
see
3
anything.
degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so nice. Glacier was one of the few where I felt like I was like, I am out here.
Mm-hmm.
Like I am literally in the wild.
Yeah.
Like it was insane. I don't know how to explain that feeling, but like
You're exposed to
you
the
just like you're
elements.
like I am fucking out here. Like the hikes alone were the longest hikes I've ever done. So we did like 30 miles in 3 days,
Mm-hmm.
split different ones. Some were longer than others. But like the one, look up Oh my god, I'm just drawing a blank on it. It is on my Instagram. It's the Highline Trail. Look up the Highline Trail, Glacier National Park. Or we can just go to my Instagram and I'll show. Look it up first. I'm sorry, I'm picky. Look it up and then I'll show you the video. Yeah, Highline Trail. Yeah, it'll come up. This trail is 8 miles, but it connects to
Oh wow.
another trail, and it ends up becoming 12. Click just below that. Or actually, yeah, you got a good one where you can see the people walking. No, you had a good one. I'm sorry, I fucked it up. Yeah, that one at the top. You nailed it. Sorry, I was saying you did a great job. I fucked up. You're just like Lord of the Rings type Hobbit shit, if you know what I'm referring to,
Yeah.
of like on the side of the mountain, just walking this Highline Trail,
Looking
and
at
that's what
that
you're looking
view,
at.
yeah.
It
It,
was, it was, and it was 12 miles. So at one point, and it's above the first half is above the road. Oh my god, look at that.
is that a child?
That is a child.
To be a child growing up with that, like, so, so lucky.
A good picture, Cynthia. It's pretty foggy.
I could look at pictures of mountains all day.
Oh, the best thing. I put like one of those on my Roku. I'm like, so instead of like the
Yeah.
animated thing, I'm like, just do mountains. The best of the national parks.
I love Roku City.
Oh, that's a great picture that you have. No, 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 the one you like, the literally the one you have. Go back. Yes, so you can see the road below.
Yeah,
So you're
that trail.
hiking above the road. I think the back's all the waterfall, but like right below it, like really right. Well, you went higher, but no, the road. Yeah, right there. Yes, thank you. Yeah, yeah. And so you're hiking above it, and then like at one point you go over this pass, and then you're like, oh, we're 6 miles away from the nearest like road.
Yeah, from like
And you're in the mountains.
civilization.
Just feels, yeah, like saying, just feels like you're like, oh, I'm out here. Like I just could just. And you do see, we didn't see any, but people do like run into bears. We saw moose, we saw rams, built the mountain goats, deer, like on all the trails. But luckily we had bear spray, but luckily we didn't see any bears.
Yeah.
There's some crazy videos of people like just hiking and like bears show up.
Have you seen that video of the snowboarder of the bear chasing her and she's like just seeing Work by Rihanna and had
Yeah.
no idea?
So yes, I did see this. I saw that years ago, but then I just saw a thing on
That was crazy.
Twitter or X, whatever, where
X.
they said it was fake.
It was fake?
They said it was the
How do
bear
you
was added in.
I mean, yeah, there are a lot of good video editors out there. I
I don't know how you
wouldn't
do
put
it
it
either.
past me,
But at
but
first I was like,
I
no
couldn't
freaking way.
I couldn't even think about how that would come into fruition unless it was like CGI. So,
I would, but either way, that's terrifying to like look back at your GoPro image, like your GoPro,
yeah, and you're
and
like
be like,
there's a
oh, I
bear
was
behind me?
10 minutes from death.
Yeah.
Like if I just sat there to look at the view for an extra 5 minutes before I clip my boots in, I'm done. I'm dead.
Yeah.
Toast. And you're not like, yeah, and even if the bear leaves you, you're toast.
Back to the thing of like, can't control everything. Have a plan.
No, but that's
And then
something I wish I could
a
control.
bear comes in and decides to kill
that
you.
that might be one of those things that is out of my control, but I really don't want to happen.
Yeah,
Oh my
We-
god, these people are like
we don't fuck with bears.
insanely close to that. Oh my gosh.
Grizzly approaches hiker. I'm running.
That is on the Highline Trail. That's
They
the
look like they're
scare-
taking their sweet time, just walking away.
there's
I'm
no
fast. I'd be
that's
running
so
for my
scary
life.
because there's nowhere you cannot go left or right. You can just you're on this path on the side of a mountain and you see a bear, you're like, I can't jump off. He's gonna I can't jump off, I'm gonna die. I can't go up because if I try to climb, that motherfucker is gonna easily
Bears
catch up
can
to me.
climb. Yeah.
Oh my god,
I
that's
think.
terrifying. Oh, the guy's done so from it. That guy's off the path. There's no way you going off the path is an advantage to you
It's
in a bear
never a
situation.
good idea. Just don't do it. I did a hike in Colorado and Thomas was like, "Oh, let's go this way." And we end up in snow up to our ribs. And I'm like trying to trench out of this. I'm so cold. All I'm wearing is like because I took my heavy jacket off already because, you know, layers on a hike, you take it
Yep,
off.
yep.
And I gave it to someone that left. So I didn't have
Oh,
my
so you're
jacket.
just
I had like my little, just like athletic, whatever, jacket on, leggings, and my boots. And I'm rib deep in snow. I
yeah.
was like,
No, that
you did this
definitely
to us.
never go off the trail
Never go off the
far.
trail.
If you can, if you can
If you're
see
doing
it,
for like a picture, or like, you know, if you could
yeah, you can
see,
see where
you
it
can
is,
see where
right?
you're
Right.
going towards, like,
If
all
you're
right,
in
that's one
woods
thing.
and then where everything starts to look the same, and you're not good with directions, you're just
No.
lost out there. Oh yeah, it's like those people
Lessons
that go
learned.
backpacking and they get lost for like days and
Oh, that's a
it's
bear cub.
miserable.
That's cute.
That's even worse. That's when you really want to get away from them. A mama bear will fuck you up.
Yeah.
It does not want
It's
you
a
near her
circle, not
cubs.
an oval.
Was that from SpongeBob?
Yeah.
Sea
When the
bears.
sea bear comes to attack him.
Was that talking to my talking to my?
What would you do? Like, what do you have to do to
I think you're supposed to
Don't you like walk away backwards?
walk way backwards
Yeah, you
and
like
make
with-
yourself look big. I think.
Yeah.
Like I swear that's what you're supposed to do. And then you should definitely have bear spray. You should know like there's certain parks where they tell you like you should stand your ground but slowly wave your arms.
Yeah, it seems like
Stand your ground. That is from our government.
I was scared. Not scared, but I was kind of like worried. Not because the same where like I didn't want to get lost, but at the same time like what if we ran into like a bear?
Yeah.
So it's like it's only four of us, we only have water, and we got nothing. I had a stick with me. I was like, we're gonna die.
Your
if we run
stick.
into a bear or something.
Your
I'm
walking stick.
picturing you four trying to fight a bear. It did not go well. I'm trying to picture you guys. We talked about that when we were hiking. We were like, how do we?
Like,
Because
what
you're
happens?
you're 10 miles, 8 miles out, or 6 miles
You have no
out.
service. You're
Yeah,
middle of
it's not like
nowhere.
you can just like run for 6 miles through the mountains to get back. Like
Your
you have to.
survival skills really gotta kick in.
Yeah, I remember us talking like, how do we? What do we do? How do we fight this bear if it's trying to attack us?
Like a little bear cub, I think I could take it, but
Well, the bear cub comes a mom.
Right,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
Like, you gotta
yeah.
kick, you
If
gotta
you're
kick
gonna
ass
take the bear
before
cub,
mom.
Yeah,
you're done.
you're gonna kick
You might
that bear
think you
cub's
win, but
ass.
it's not over yet.
Yeah, you're celebrating, and the mama bear is coming right behind you.
Take one little jab and just take off. That's what I do.
Maybe if you give them some honey.
Have you seen the video? It's obviously fake, but of the guy like it fights the bear. Look up guy fighting bear for like salmon. It's so funny.
Wait, I don't know what video.
I remember seeing this as a kid and dying, and I think it still holds up. Yeah. Oh, we're gonna get an ad. Sorry. Classics of the year. Yeah. There's gotta be a This is it.
Is he in a? Oh, I thought he was in a bear
Look,
suit.
look, it pushes him up. Look at this bear.
They're tussling.
Kicks him in the and that's when it's like some John West commercial. There it is. All right, that's funny. That's such a
That's
funny.
so
I remember
funny. I've never seen that.
dying at that as a kid. There were some gems back on the day in YouTube.
YouTube was great. Oh my gosh. I stopped watching YouTube videos probably in like high school, I think.
Yeah,
But
I would say high school, and then like midway through college, I got like somehow back on YouTube.
yeah.
I'm not doing like the things I did when I was a kid, but like I watch YouTube all the time now. Like it's.
What do you watch?
I mean, you could go to my algorithm right now if you want. I don't mind. Go to YouTube. See what comes up. It's like Star Wars, history, podcasts, DJ stuff, and then sets. It's like all sorts. So there's John Summit at Tulum,
Yeah.
Screencast, which is Star Wars and Marvel. Are You Garbage Guys? Not that they need a shout out. Shout out to Are You Garbage podcast. And then football now, yeah, like business stuff.
Oh, I love the mic'd ups. Those are so funny.
Yeah. Future of war.
Dumb.
A lot of war stuff lately. Surprised there's no animated history on there yet. Armchair History. Shout out Armchair History. Great page.
History, Darkest Hour, The Great Depression Explained.
I wouldn't watch that one. Doesn't sound interesting, but it feeds into my
History niche.
yeah. Here's a good one. Go to my there should be a way to go to click the three tabs of click that. Go to history. I fell asleep last night, so I wonder what else is there. Nazi symbol right
Is this
there.
the animated history you're talking
Click,
about?
please click on that so people can at least see what I was watching, not just the Nazi symbol.
We need the context.
I need some context here. The downfall of Germany. Perfect. There you go. The Western Front full documentary. Perfect. There you go. That's what I was watching. I fell asleep to that one. That one's 50 minutes. No, the other one's an hour. Hitler dominating the world. Click that one. What's that one? I fell asleep to that one, obviously. World War II from the German perspective. You know what? I'm now interested in that. I'm gonna have to watch it
You're
again
gonna have
tonight.
to watch it now.
Oh, dude, that's the craziest, the most insanely and stupidly OP separatist droid tank in the Clone Wars. Look at this tank.
Whoa.
Look at the size of it compared to the other tanks.
It looks like a ship.
They said it basically was the size of a ship. They just made it
Yeah.
into a tank. It was made for breaking sieges. It could go through steel walls.
You'd see that shit in like Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's right. This is the Star Wars universe. Apparently, you could take out a whole column of these ATTEs. Oh, it says that in the caption too. Look at that.
Have you done the Rise of Resistance ride at Disney?
No, I have not done the Star Wars world yet at all.
Really?
I need to plan a day and go. Yeah, no, I would totally go. I
was just there, and my friend and I hit all the Star Wars rides.
I would totally go.
I love Disney.
The thing is, though, is like if I go, I know I'm gonna want to build a lightsaber. I'm gonna do all this nerd stuff.
Do it.
And which is it's
We all have
fine,
a little
but I
nerd in
think it's like
us.
$450 to build a lightsaber there or something insane.
Right, it might be like 200, not 400, but
Well,
it
plus
is.
like ticket, like the day is an expensive day. So it's
Yeah.
like I need to plan for this expensive day that I'm gonna go to Galaxy's Edge.
Well, your birthday just happened.
Well, so I gotta wait till next year. I gotta wait till my next birthday.
No, it's so cool.
Gosh, that's so cool. Well, Nando, would you dress up and go with me?
Absolutely. I love
Would be our
Star Wars.
Mandos again.
I've gone once for my birthday like years ago, and it was. But we went on a Sunday, so like we were very limited on what you could do because the lines to get on a ride was like an hour, an hour and a half. So that's most of your time. But
Did you get the fast pass?
I'd go.
I
again,
I got you guys.
We'll plan
Come with
something.
me. I have a way.
Oh,
Yeah.
free tickets.
No, I have. I have. I have the DAS pass because of like a bladder issue. So
You
anything.
get to go through everything.
Huh?
Go. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
So no, so like basically, if the line is like 2 hours and I gotta go to the bathroom, I'd have to get out of line. So with the DAS, I'm able to like book a return time and do the lightning lane.
Oh, so you can be like,
And
I
I
wanna
can
go at
and
2,
whoever
you're
is in
like,
my party, I can add into that.
Ooh, click the to the left. No, we're down one. Yes, click that.
They have those. It's really cool.
Oh, that's at Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, you guys gotta go.
Are there 2 different ones?
It's at Disney World.
I think it's at Hollywood Studios, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, Hollywood Studios.
But one's at.
But I think it's
That's
different,
not
like-
Galaxy.
They
But that's
have-
different.
They
Really, it's
have a
different in
Rise of the
California.
Resistance at Disneyland.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't know if they have the whole Galaxy's Edge there, but I know they have the ride.
Because the one with the AT-AT, the Walker, the reason I pulled that up is I remember going to Star Wars Day at Disney, or no, I think it was at Universal or something back in the day. It was because that was there. That was the ride. It was a Rebel ride. Now I'm
Are you
confused.
sure? Because they have one. They've had like a Star Tours. That's a ride that's been at Hollywood Studios for a
Maybe
very
that
long
was-
time.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
maybe that's what it was. And they just used to because this was before Disney bought Star Wars, so that
Right.
was for sure.
Yeah, they
Oh.
they bought Lucasfilms in like 20.
Look
It
up
was kind of recent.
Star Wars. Yeah, it was 20 like 15 because the
26,
first
15 or 16.
movie
Yeah.
came out 20. The
Yeah,
first
it must have
movie
been
came out
must have
fall
been
of
a couple of
2015.
years before the episode 7. So that was episode 7 came out in 2015. So that
Right.
should have been like 2012. Is it 2013 is when they bought it.
Yeah,
It
this was
recent.
pre then. I was a kid. Look up Star Wars Day 2000. Just look up the early 2000s. I don't know. Early 2000s Star Wars Day. Florida. Yeah. Because I'm almost positive it was part. I don't know.
Either way, you guys gotta go. It's really cool.
Yeah, we'll go. You know, figure it out. It's a lot of money.
Everyone's got a little nerd in us, you know.
What is your? I agree with that actually,
Yeah.
100%. What is your closeted nerd thing?
I
Passion.
passion, obsession. I
Obsession. That's the
fucking
word. Yeah, yeah.
love Kirby.
Kirby.
The pink little guy.
Yeah, pull up Kirby for us just for fun.
I'm obsessed with Kirby.
Oh.
What the fuck is
That
that?
is the Put that on. That's the creepiest Kirby.
Get that shit
thing
out of here.
ever
Oh my god. Don't do Kirby like that. What is that?
Krubby.
Ew.
It says
Ew.
Krubby. Krubby collectible. Creepy Kirby Krubby. Krubby.
It looks like a testicle.
Okay. Okay.
Ew. No, I love that Kirby.
Yeah, that's the good Kirby.
I've been playing the Switch game Return to Dreamland for him. He's just great. I use him in Super Smash. Down B always hits. I can
It's the
really
classic
go,
move, I
go
feel like.
crazy
That's
with
the classic Kirby move.
Go crazy
Down
with
B,
Kirby.
fly up, down B, you'll smash, hope for the best.
Hold the hammer and smack the shit out of somebody.
Yep. Yep.
I love it. They never see it coming too, and I always get them. Like John, Nick, and Thomas. Like I've beat all of them like in like rounds when Orlando when we lived at the house. And to this day they still say I suck. And I'm like, I've beaten every single one of you multiple times, like in a like
beating you one-on-one.
Sudden death game. What are you talking about? And I hope they watch this.
Hit that controller real quick.
It's so cute. Oh, come on.
Is that a Switch controller?
Yeah.
There you go.
Switch. I'm
Thomas, birthday. I mean Christmas.
It's so cute. It's Thomas's Switch, but yeah, I'm gonna ask for that controller.
Time for Christmas.
I love it.
What is that? Nicolas Cage has Kirby. That is too funny. Cribbleless Cage, Nicolas Cage, Kirby. God. It's his cursed mashup. Oh my god, I love that. That's great. That's great. So Kirby's your Super Smash Bros. Go-to.
My little character.
Nando, who's your go-to?
Honestly, it depends because I really suck at Super Smash. I just push buttons. I think either is it Samus, right?
Zero Suit
Yeah,
Samus.
Zero Suit Samus. Yeah. I never played the games. Good character to play with. Never played the actual games.
Neither have I. Haven't played.
Didn't know.
It's a storyline game.
Didn't know it was a girl, but I remember when I first played, did not know that.
Mhm.
Not that it matters, but I remember as a kid being like, "It's a girl."
Yeah. Right.
Like you're just surprised when they come out of the suit. Because like you think Iron Man, you're like, "Oh, Iron Man is a man," and you know the helmet comes
out
up
of the suit,
and it's a man.
And it's you see Robert Downey Jr. And,
right, yeah.
You know, but I want to go to Super Nintendo World so bad. I'm so excited that they're building that in Orlando.
That's at Universal, right?
Yeah, and
what?
Hollywood.
Look up. I didn't know that. Look at that. What is that gonna look like? Do they have a concept map?
It's open.
Oh, it's open.
Yeah.
What does it look like?
In Cali, it's open, but they're building one in Orlando. It's so cool.
I did not know that was a thing.
It's so cool. Like the food, the souvenirs. They have like the character meets. Toad is fucking adorable.
Yeah.
Like he does his little jump.
I knew of. Okay, I'm sorry. I knew of Mario World. I thought you were saying they had like a Smash, like a
Super Nintendo World.
I misunderstood. Okay.
No,
Is
it's
Kirby
like the main
Super
focus
Nintendo?
is like Mario for the Super Nintendo World.
Is Kirby her own game?
Kirby,
His?
Kirby is its like own thing separate from like Mario, Luigi, Peach.
But is it from
but
Nintendo?
But it's all under Nintendo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The Nintendo Smash Bros. Brawl.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
It's so cute. It'd be so cool to work for or work with the planning team that like brings these experiences and like universes to life.
Yeah.
Like I have this dream of
Click,
like
clickety click the Japan one. Oh my
like
god, it looks
build being
insane.
part of a team that like builds this.
That looks absolutely awesome.
So cool.
It's crazy that we like don't not like this, but like
That
like
we don't
the
live there,
yeah that we don't live. That is true. I mean, that would be better than the apartment buildings we have going up here.
right?
Like we just don't build like crazy cool things like I feel like anymore. Like the Sphere, it is cool. It's crazy,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not like the Roman cathedrals and stuff.
Yeah.
The
Like
Acropole, like
architecture, I feel like has become very modern.
yeah, and bland and boring
Mm-hmm.
and
Have you seen like all the
like a
houses they're
prison.
building in Tampa? Like they're all just white and black, like square model
Yeah.
houses that are supposed to be luxury and stuff. And it's like, I mean, no hate, like they are nice, but everything is just so simple and modern now.
Yeah, let's talk about the biggest scam, like these luxury apartments that just keep popping up everywhere. Who's affording this? Is
Who's
can
buying
everyone
them?
buy a luxury apartment now?
I
Am I wrong? Like
no,
everything is a luxury apartment. Every
it is true.
complex is a luxury apartment, and it's like who's moving? I mean, they're always full. They seem
Yeah,
full,
I
but
mean,
it's like
mine filled up. Mine opened in like 2021, I think, or something, and I can barely park there now. I mean, last year when I moved in, it was still pretty like there was still a good amount of spaces and like it was pretty low key.
type
But
in non-luxury apartment. See what comes.
see what comes up. Tampa.
People are searching for this apparently. I think I have the location services off, but it's okay. Look at those. Those are all luxury.
That's not non. Yeah, what? That's a lie. Those are like luxury apartments.
Yeah, click that. Let's see what that looks like. Let's just look real quick. The ellip. Yeah,
Ellipse.
yeah. Click it. See how much these non-luxury luxury apartments are. I'll just say, dude, with a name like that, you're gonna tell me they're not gonna charge this yeah, 2 months rent free.
2330.
Look up. Give us 2-2.
Yeah.
Right? No, right there. Yeah. Sorry. No, go back up. Oh, okay. 3,300. Kill me. Oh, tons of room. Look at that nice long hallway in your bedroom.
For what?
When you get lost at night, you gotta go to the bathroom. You can't find your way. You gotta go through the labyrinth.
Yeah. It's
Oh
so
my goodness.
crazy. It's so
It's
crazy.
insane nowadays.
Yeah, every
I
time the
know.
first rolls around, I'm like, "Ugh, I could have found something cheap." Like
I
honestly, Kelsey
yeah.
and I were so we didn't even look for somewhere else. We were so just like, "All right, we'll stay." Didn't even really think about the price. We're
Eas-
like, "It works.
It's
We don't
easier
want
to
to
stay,
move."
that's for sure. I don't blame you.
It is so much. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to move. The day we moved out was the day Thomas got his port in and like his bone marrow biopsy done. So
Mm.
I was at the hospital all day. So
You're like, I can't.
I
Yeah.
can't. I couldn't even move. My parents came and they just like took everything and plopped it in a new place for like me to figure out. And then my coworker Clay and he helped me move the rest of my stuff like later that night. But
My apartment in Greenville, I ended up staying as well, but I didn't plan on it, and it was
yeah,
a very like. So I was going to go shop around. There actually were cheaper options, like a bit farther from downtown, and they told, and I actually didn't even ask them because my buddy went, and they told him, yeah, we're upping your rent $400 a month, and I was like, fuck, I'm not going to look for that. So I
yeah,
immediately started looking at other places. I find a place that fits both of us. South Carolina, think about it. So it was like 1,300 for a 2-2. Amazing.
that's good.
A little
Yeah,
bit of ways from downtown and everything. So not where I was, but I was like, me and my roommate agreed on it. Perfect. I was like, hey, I'm gonna go take a tour this day. I show up to go take a tour. They go, oh, those ones that you're looking at are being remodeled. They won't be ready for 2 to 3 months. And I'm like, well, I need to move out this week.
yeah.
And the
What?
guy's like, oh, I'm sorry. And I'm like, your website doesn't say
Say
this. Like, you
that.
need to update your website. I just wasted a whole day to come do this.
Oh, that's bad.
So, and then on top of it, I'm leaving for town the next. I mean, it's on me. I waited, but I didn't think because of the
That would
website. I didn't
happen.
think that would
Yeah,
happen.
you had
It
the
said
wrong
units available,
information.
right? So in my head, it didn't matter that I could I had to renew
That's
by
shitty.
X date. Like it was, so I had to renew like 2 days, 3 days later, but I was leaving town in 2 days, and I'm like scrambling to find other apartments, and finally I'm like, let me just go to my front office and tell them the situation, whatever. So I go back and I go, hey, long story short, company's keeping me. I just told them my company wouldn't keep me. That's
Yeah.
why I had to get rid of my lease.
Yeah.
And then I was like, hey, long story short, company decided to keep me here. I now need to find a place within like today, basically. Like,
Mhm.
what deal do you have? What's going on?
Like
The
what
guy
can you
looks at the
do?
computer. He goes, oh, your rent, yeah, your rent's only gonna go up $30. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, you're gonna be paying 14.80 instead of 14.50 now. And I was like, done. I'll send the paperwork right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I didn't have to worry about it. I was like, thank God. But I don't know why. He's like, yeah, our system shows it. And I was like, sounds good. Let's sign it right now. Like before they could adjust it or
Pleasant
anything. I was like, we'll
surprise.
do it right now. And got it
Yeah.
and kept it another year for, yeah, $800 a month or whatever
That's
it was.
good. I think mine went up like $30 from last year too.
That's nice.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't that much.
Because otherwise, if you sometimes you try to jump, sometimes you jump, you get a good deal. But you guys are in a good spot. So
Yeah.
sometimes you jump, you get a good deal, but you're in a horrible spot, or you jump and you're in a better spot, and it's $500 more.
Yeah. It
It's
really
just
there are a lot of factors that go into finding a good apartment that works for you.
yeah,
But I like it. It's fine.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it's nice, but it has its it has its issues, but it could be worse,
I
is what
think,
I'd
and that's the
say.
thing is, it's like I feel like almost anywhere apartment wise you
You're
live
gonna have
at these
something.
days, it's something.
Yeah.
At least it's not like the the
The
quad.
quad? Oh my god.
You didn't live
I didn't
there.
even live
You
there, but
didn't
I
live
knew
there,
it
but
was
it was
bad.
bad.
I mean, yeah, Emma, Kelsey, they lived with me during their whole black mold thing.
Yeah,
Oh my
it was
god.
it was so funny story about that. My good friend Tyler lived there when he went to UCF, and I did
Yeah.
not put two and two together because I would have said something like "Don't live
Like
there."
don't live there.
And he didn't have mold, but he had a bug issue. Like he was like, I
Mm.
cannot keep anything in the pantry or anything. We keep
Said the
getting
what? Oh
that's
my
we
god.
keep getting ants, we keep getting all these things. Like there's nothing, like we've sprayed, they've sprayed, like we just keep getting bugs. And
They
I remember
live
the
in the
girls had a bug
walls.
problem too for a little bit.
Yeah.
And uh I just didn't think about it. And then the year after they moved out, like me and him were talking, and he brought it up, and I was like, oh my god, I forgot you lived
It's the
there. And
same
I told him the
place.
story. I go, I didn't tell you this, but like at the time,
So
they had a nice
bad.
gym though. I will say they had a nice gym.
Did they?
They got a free weight bench and squat rack. It's small, but it's good.
Has
Everything you
stuff
need.
you need. Yeah.
Stay at, yeah. But yeah, there it is. Crazy. What a past life. Um,
It's like a fever
it
dream.
was yeah. Show the apartments. There it is. Living room. Living
Oh
room. Yeah.
man.
Oh my gosh.
You remember U House?
Is that bad? You guys have
It was fine, but it was just like I Emma's room was so small.
yes,
The
very tiny.
the roommate
Hey,
the
they lived right there. Sorry,
oh yeah, with the
we played the
basketball court.
basketball.
The random roommate that we had was awful.
I don't even remember her.
I don't remember her name, but I know she like was just such a mess. Um I mean, U House itself, I don't know. I feel like I was barely there because that's when Thomas and I started to like date and stuff. So I was always at his house. But
I always that's one thing I always regret in college was not having a house, which I have now, and I love renting a house
yeah,
so much more. I
I rented a
just
house my last year and it was
yeah,
I if I could take that house and just plop it in Tampa, I would
perfect.
100%.
Yeah,
The rent is cheaper. It's you have more space, you have more freedom to just like have people over.
that's what I love about it.
Yeah.
I always liked hosting and having people over, and we
Yeah.
do that in pre games and
I
stuff. And then
remember Friendsgiving at my house.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, that stuff's so much fun. You can't do that in an apartment. It's too
No.
tiny.
It's too tiny or too cramped. You're worrying about my friend's car got towed last time we hosted something. So
Right.
now I'm like,
You're
no,
worried
I
about
can't.
that. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Having a house is just
it's the move.
way more fun if you like to host and do stuff.
But buying a house at this point, I want to buy a property at some
Everything
point.
is yeah. Yeah. It's just a shit show. Well, on a good note, we've done an hour and a half, so we're gonna
Time goes
time has
by.
flown by. We're normally I'd ask more, but we're at an hour and a half. I'm gonna cap it here.
Yeah.
Lily, I loved having you on. We can absolutely do this again. We'll
Yeah,
get to know you
I'm
some more and have
so
a more
happy to
fun
come
time.
back. This is
Thank you
fun.
so much. Do you want to plug your socials and stuff? I usually tell people too they can.
My socials?
Yeah, your personal. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
At Lily Disilvestro on Instagram, Twitter.
We'll put it in the
TikTok, it's
in
the
the
same.
bios.
It's the same thing across everything. So
Hit her up for your social media marketing needs. And with that, again, thank you so much for coming on. I had a great time. Hope you come on again.
yeah,
Thank you so much, everybody.
thank you.
Peace.